and it's coming out of my screen there. So I'm so sorry.
Copyright claim.
Yeah. No, that should be good music that is bought. I will shout out to BenSound, the company that I bought the music from. But sending so much love to all of you out there, as in fact, welcome Misfits to tonight's episode of Ask Us Anything or Say Something Funny. June makes Fundies swoon. It does. The show where we ask our supporters to ask us anything, or is this on? Oh, give us their best one-liner. You can send live questions and jokes, oh baby will they, to us via Super Chats, or if you have channel memberships or Patreon support or Twitch membership, then you can send those lovely questions or zingers into us in chat, though every subscriber and viewer is welcome to join in on the fun. So won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for a good time as we celebrate Triggering Fundies Month? Gay Pride, Black History. Ah!
Every month.
Whoosh.
Well,
Woo!
every month kind of triggers them, because if you think about it, every month there will be fewer people sitting in church pews than the month before, because between laying in your bed and getting up to go to a building where a guy will drive a Mercedes or BMW up to it, get out of it wearing a cheap suit, walk up to a podium and read to you from a book of Bronze Age fables, and then expect you to pay him money, I'd rather just lay in bed. I don't know. I think most people are making that decision too.
James, but that book of Bronze Age fables, let me tell you. Whew.
It's a special book.
It's a special book.
It's a special book.
And if not, you can get a different holy book. Hi, Gizmo. We need to, I think, read up more on the Book of Mormon. I enjoyed having Sinister Porpoise on. That's true. Aaron Ross is having a good.
That was an interesting segment there with Porpoise.
Well, the most fascinating thing to me is just how convinced every theist is. And not every theist, the fundamentalists or the true believers or whatever, because you and I clearly view Joseph Smith as a con man. Even he admitted he had a history of fraud in the past. Doesn't mean he's not a prophet, though. Yeah, doesn't mean it does kind of mean that you should be a little bit suspicious, probably.
Have the credibility to take his word for it about what he's looking at in that hat and the golden fucking tablets that, look, the angel asked for him back. I mean, he had to give him back to the angel. And besides, if the angel didn't take him back, then you wouldn't need faith. You could just look at the tablets. But you see, God wanted you to have faith in what Joseph Smith was reading from those tablets. So
exactly, he wanted very specifically for you to believe
the evidence. Yeah, so you have
the
that faith.
hat method of science.
I mean, any day now, it's going to take over the linguistics departments at the universities around the world. They will unshackle themselves from the centuries of regular linguistics studies, because that's really boring, and they'll just bring Mormons in to read out of hats. That's easy.
I feel like the hat method slowly but surely is going to take over. Basically, you had carpet David, now you're going to have hat. Anyway, sending so much love. I see you are Victorian, Big Ben Mama, and Subaru, and Yuduf, and everybody I suddenly can't scroll, and Pookykins, and April Cox, and everybody out there sending so much love to you. Gizmo says hi as well. We are asking the same thing or saying something funny. We will interact with the entire chat, but we are looking very specifically to give love to all of our supporters out there. And so this episode is kind of a love letter. However, creationists, if you're out there, we will just debate you back and forth. So just please, then
we'll
your
debate them wherever we can find them, because they're
James,
so scarce.
If I was in an alleyway and I'm just walking down, right, and a gentleman just comes over and says, "The global flood is true," I'm ready.
They're becoming endangered species. I mean, they are.
They are apparently.
It's harder to find a creationist ready to defend their claims than a fucking unicorn. It's ridiculous.
James, dare I say they're being naturally selected? It might just be.
You will have an easier time reading one of Hillary Clinton's emails than you will finding a creationist ready to.
Now, in fairness,
they believe.
I am now waiting for a politician to not have emails or servers or something. At this point, we could go multiple presidents down, and yeah,
no doubt. It's
so I don't trust.
Not just her. She's not the only government official to use unsecured email service.
Just in the past few years,
she's the most prominent one, maybe.
What is up, Michael Smith? What is up, Farron Salas? We can show him up. We're trying to, because we're going to send love. In fact, to all of our lovely members down there, you can become a member by hitting that join button and getting our evolving badge system. What does that mean? Well, it means that you start with just a small technological icon, but slowly over time, it's almost like the badges evolve. And James, this concept drives creationists. I guess I don't want to say by definition, but they have kind of, taken evolution, Big Bang, a few abiogenesis. We're going to separate that out because those really are two separate things. And just decided to, make them their enemy. However, like a flat earther with gravity, it doesn't really matter, I guess is the right technical term.
Yeah. They picked a bad fight. And what can we say? It's amusing to watch them try, but they've not that they brought a knife to a gunfight. They brought a cotton ball or a crumpled up piece of paper to a tank. It's not really even
because creationists don't offer theories. They do not offer a framework of facts. They don't do research.
They don't even offer reasoned hypothesis or reasoned arguments. They don't. They offer blind faith in Bronze Age, Iron Age myth.
They also they love that word, Michael Smith, arbitrary. Just absolutely obsessed. Even though if you were to look really what arbitrary is, means coming from a mind, just based off a mind. And so your favorite flavored ice cream.
By fiat.
Ice cream, yeah, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, whatever you like. However, somehow the mind in the sky, the ultimate mind, not arbitrary. Because if he says that strawberry ice cream is the best ice cream by fiat, then suddenly
it must
Yes,
be.
that's not. Yes, exactly.
And if he did say strawberry was the best, he would be objectively right because it is. But well, and that's why somebody like even somebody who is basically an atheist, she who we don't need to mention her name, but she doesn't even believe in Allah or Islam, but she wants us to go by the Quran because it's
Oh my
arbitrary.
goodness. Yes,
She
this
gets to
person was a
be
secular
gay people.
Quranist.
She doesn't have to explain why it's bad to be gay. It's art. The book says it, therefore it's bad. I will kill you. I will beat you. I will do all these things to you. Having a child out of wedlock, we will beat you for that because the book says so. She doesn't care whether it's bullshit or not. She just likes the fact that
Whether
she gets to
there
be authoritarian.
is no God, yes, she gets to control people.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Sending love out there. Thank you so much, Victoria. Just sending all of that. How are you so fabulous? And the other thing is, do we have any supernatural? I don't think we have any supernatural beliefs. James, we were just talking, and I'll bring this up because, I'm 50-50 on this concept, but this concept would not be supernatural. James thinks
I don't
that
think it's supernatural.
well, no, it could. Well, I guess let me put this: it could be, but that makes no sense. It would make much more sense. The universe is just big. So what we're speaking of, aliens.
I think that the natural world might be a lot more complicated than we currently understand, but that doesn't mean it's not the natural world. It doesn't mean it's magic. What did Arthur C. Clarke say? Sufficiently advanced knowledge or technology is indistinguishable from magic. So the concepts of the natural world that a civilization a million years more advanced than us might appear supernatural, but it's just because our knowledge today is so primitive.
Exactly. And, well, it makes sense to me, even though I don't believe that we have ever been. I'm waiting. God. I don't think we've been visited. I think I am convinced that there is alien life out there. It would make sense. It would be odd to me that we are the first and only life forms in a universe so big, and when carbon isn't that hard. Like, I know that we're hydrogen and lots of other elements dominated, but carbon it's not that hard to make once you get a supernova. And so not surprising that there would be some planets in the circumstellar habitable zones around their solar systems that have carbon, or maybe even silicone or something we haven't even thought of, that after billions of years, or even right away, ours was seemingly right away. And yeah.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of, until maybe a month ago, it seemed like all the skeptic channels were on their parade doing their rare earth videos, marching out dutifully and declaring that, yes, I do think that we're probably alone. There probably is no other life than us, because we would have seen it if it was, which is very different from what they were saying maybe 10 years ago when they were saying, yeah, we just don't know. I was seeing a lot of them just say, yeah, no, we're probably alone, which how you come to that based on a small sample size. Oh, yeah.
I don't think we're
You
alone.
see rare earth videos all over. Yeah.
Not only would I bet that there's other life, I would be willing to bet that it's a decent amount to a human. Because if I were to pick a number, just an arbitrary number, like thousands or whatever, you could say, well, there's thousands of life forms in the universe, and it's probably even bigger, maybe. But if you were to go, well, how much square foot is there of the universe? And you go billions, and maybe there's only thousands or even hundreds of thousands or whatever it is. That's not that much, but I'd be willing to bet that it'd be very odd just for us to come in ones. And we don't look special. We don't seem special. We look exactly where life would form naturally. Yeah. And I think there's other places like us.
But I mean, realistically, though, if you're going to say it, depends on how dense life is, because you could say, oh, well, yeah, there's thousands of civilizations out there, but there's billions of galaxies, so maybe 1 out of every 100 galaxies has one, and then they'll never interact with each other because travel between the galaxies is virtually impossible. So we really have to talk about in our galaxy. That's really, if we're going to be interacting with life from another planet, it's got to be pretty much from our galaxy.
And I can almost see it going both ways, that there's going to be some civilizations that are very far away. And then maybe every once in a while, some of those civilizations are going to have a few close. I mean, I hate to use this in Minecraft, but it is just a lovely example because Minecraft uses a seed. And from that seed in programming, it just randomly just sprouts everything. And like there are villages in Minecraft, within the random wilderness and stuff, there are villages that have just little humans. And sometimes they are very rare to find. But every once in a while, you have a village next to another village. And that just happens randomly. It doesn't happen often. But sometimes that happens. And so it makes sense to me that that's the same thing would apply. You got to travel sometimes, but every once in a while, you're going to have stuff that's very close. And the problem is that there's many steps to visiting, because you, like I say, even a civilization like us, it needs to actually be us, but a little bit better. And that might be a little bit hard. I feel like it has to be a civilization who's cut through some of their politics. You know, we still to this day get people that are like, why should we invest in the space program? I could very much an alien species going, why should we invest? Even if they're close, how could you? So I don't know. I think it's very possible. This is why I go 50-50. I won't like completely cut myself off, because then it's not a supernatural event. And so it could be that one time there is evidence, but I don't know. We might find evidence one day of a single cellular alien species. Will that change how we feel if we just find single cellular aliens? That may change society too.
We might hear evidence in the next couple months of multicellular species. I'll tell you, the thing is, the skeptic community, the media, mainstream media, they're kind of like holding their breath right now, because and they're fully expecting, like every day when they wake up, that the bottom's just going to fall out of this like it always has before, and then that they can go back to normal. Say, these silly people believing in such silly things.
In fairness, that is what they're supposed to do, right? You got to at least be skeptical of things until... it
depends.
Maybe you shouldn't make fun of them, but you should be skeptical.
Well, there's nothing wrong with skepticism. Just not being 100% positive. You have to be able to look at all sides of it. There's nothing wrong with a healthy dose of skepticism. That's not the
Well, I think if there's someone who tells you it is impossible, that will never happen, I think then they are being irrational, because it is all of those signs point to it clearly being possible, even though we only have a single sample size. All you need is at least a single sample size to say that it could happen. And so you can't completely shut your brain off.
We only have one sample size. Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
so
I don't think anybody.
Of those things.
I don't think anybody without firsthand knowledge can come out and say that they have proof or that they have conclusive, overwhelming evidence. I'm not going to say that. We're not there yet. So there is. There's still plenty of room for a healthy amount of doubt. That's not the issue, but. So we're still at the hypothesis stage. We have made observations. Certain people have come up with certain hypotheses. Some people have come up with others, and you can still advocate for the one that you think is going to be the one, the more viable one. We don't know, but I mean, like, there are physicists who are string theorists and ones who think it's nonsense. These are both brilliant, science-minded people, brilliant physicists. They just advocate for one side of a different hypothesis. So that's still the stage we're at. And I guess at some level, it does require a little bit of your intuition, your gut, your beliefs to, like, what is your gut telling you is the right answer here, because you don't have conclusive evidence one way or the other.
So if I could just pivot for just a second,
Pivot.
the James Webb Telescope does not invalidate the Big Bang.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, what it is they do this like, oh well, the Big Bang says this, and they'll find like an observation that seems to be something we didn't imagine or seems to go against part of the Big Bang. Doesn't mean you throw the whole thing out. It just means there's an aspect of it that we didn't fully understand. Hello, Cooper.
I was gonna say, I think the Rachel and the sissy is home. I'll do
Time for him to get to work then, huh?
But also, lovely Pride Month, just sending love. I rarely, get to wear all this amount of rainbows, and so just sending so much love. But we are asking us anything or saying something funny. I'm sorry. He's a good boy, though. I love puppers.
He certainly is a good boy.
And kitties and Yes, this entire podcast is basically funded by catnip and treats. But sending love to P-Town, out there. I know he's basically one of the only creationists left out there as they're tipping away.
No. James Webb did not debunk the Big Bang.
Yes, that's right. Sending love also, if I didn't send love to Ian Davenport and Low-Key Fur and...
Well, that's like when they find one fossil that's an anomaly in a layer, and they say, oh, that disproves evolution. That's one fossil that we found. Like, okay, maybe a species evolved a little earlier than we thought. That doesn't disprove all of evolution.
Yeah, you incorporate new data. It generally doesn't discount everything that you've done. You go, oh, new data. Let's adjust our model to make a more accurate model of reality.
Well, as I was saying the other day, Farron, I think, hopefully, we think that if there are more intelligent species out there, more advanced, they probably would have had to deal with a lot of the same challenges and problems we had to overcome, the lessons we had to learn. So that's always our hope. But obviously, every species, every planet's going to be different. They're going to evolve in their own unique conditions and planet with their own unique issues. But we just hope that they've had a similar trek that we've had at one point or another. But we never know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, it could go, like I think I said this the other time, to me it could go one of three ways. Because you have either zero-sum, cooperative, or a mix of those two. And so let's hope that they are more of the Star Trek loving beings and less of the Star Wars empire.
And you have to think that if they were the other way, they probably would have destroyed themselves the way we would if we had learned from some of the lessons, the mistakes, the things we had to grow through as a maturing species.
Hopefully, they've gotten rid of religion. Wouldn't surprise me if it existed.
You would never be able to. That's why when I hear, because I go through this media a lot, and like when I hear certain things, and because you have to sift through so much bullshit in this to find like any amount of truth. And this guy's like, he's saying that they recovered a live alien from Roswell, and his name was EBE1, extraterrestrial biological entity 1. And he's like, and we were talking to him, and we asked him, we said, do you have a soul?
By the way, No
And
one
the
would
alien
believe
said-
him if the alien's name was Tim. Just pointing that out. If they came down and said, "Hi, I'm Tim." Continue. I'm sorry.
Well, that wasn't the name he gave him. That was our name. But they asked him if he had a soul, and he's like, "Yes, of course. We all have an eternal soul." And I said, "Okay, you're full of shit." Yeah, no. If there was a real alien and you asked him if he had a soul, he would probably laugh at you and say, "What the fuck is that?"
I better get an answer like House. You ever watch
A
that
soul? What the fuck are you smoking? I mean, no.
show?
What
Soul?
is a soul?
I'm sorry, but souls don't power fuel cells. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Same thing if I'm listening to somebody and I hear them, they start making too many like 9/11 truth references. That if once they start that, they lose pretty much all credibility with me. Because as I've said, if you
Speaking of 9/11,
if you can't wrap your head around that, then the toolkit you use to differentiate reality from fiction is just not working right.
Yeah, because either at least you're what you are saying is you better be coming to me like you even though you think or lean towards something to be empirically proof. You want the stuff. You don't want people just mixing it in with like spirituality or supernatural.
It has to make sense. It has to comport with reality, and yeah, there's a part of it that is connected to reality, and there's a part of it that's more fantasy, and the lines get blurred. But you have to do the best you can to try to toe that line.
Right now, it's science fiction, and so the question to me is, sometimes science fiction becomes science, and sometimes science fiction stays fiction. And so the question is, at least, even though I think aliens, whether they come down and visit or whether they're able to, because they're close enough to us, is the question. But I still think they're out there somewhere, because just we're not that special. That's my other thing. Like, I think we're amazing and awesome and fantastic, but like, we formed as early as the planet could make us. It was like life.
Basically.
Let's do this, baby.
Well, to go back to what Farron was saying about their destructiveness is, it seems like, well, okay, so if it turns out to be true, we don't know yet, but if it does, then it seems like they're interested in our military capabilities, because the incidents that have happened near the nuclear missiles, the fact that they really started coming here in great numbers once we started doing nuclear testing.
Well, if you are
the military,
sum, that's what you're interested in. Like, there's two. Like, if you are gonna try to invade or whatever, you're either interested, unless you're cooperative and you're just trying to scope things out. You're trying to say, well, are they?
Well, I mean, I think that they're trying to gauge our development. I don't think they're trying to plan a takeover militarily.
That would be cooperative. They're just trying to gauge.
Yeah, they're trying to gauge our development or see where we're at. They're obviously very concerned with it. It seems like, because like the military is running into these things a lot more than like the civilian craft. So it seems like they are interested more so in what our military is up to than the Boeing flying from Atlanta to Denver.
Well,
they're much more interested in what's going on with the aircraft here.
We're all normies. We all like to think. I guess we all, in some ways, we are all the first person of our adventure. But generally speaking, we are not carrying around classified information with us. We are just Bob and Fred, podcasting.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not, in the bathroom at Mar-a-Lago with classified documents. So, I mean, that's where you would go, or to be fair, Joe Biden's garage in the backseat of his
James,
Corvette.
Like I said, there is not. Every president for now decades. This is why I'm not completely apathetic, because I know if you become completely apathetic and don't vote and don't do anything and stuff, then you are just giving in to the system in its worst way, because then the people who really do care will pick. However, I'm not enthusiastic either, because it does feel like a kleptocracy. I'm trying to think of the
I know
correct
what
word.
you.
It's so it's two sides of a boot. However, there is in the upcoming election or two, there's a boot. There's one side I feel that would specifically pound me harder. That's a shame, because there are people on that side, on the moderate side, that I would vote for. That I
There's
think
lots of people that
actually
would pound you
sound.
very hard.
No, but there
And
are.
you walked right into that one.
Oh, James, I try to walk into whatever I can. But there are at least a handful of people that I could name you on a side that I would vote for. But unless it was that specific person, there are the religious fundies of that side. Because the crazy people on the other side, who are, I mean, if you want to be fair, believe in sticking crystals up whoever where. And James, what month are you? It doesn't matter.
Your pineal gland decalcified.
Exactly. But like those people,
Bravo heat your crystals, Amy.
I'm not afraid of them. When they ask for my sign, it doesn't affect major things in my life. And yet the other people actually have made a coordinated plan. Not only have they made a coordinated plan, but they have systematically worked to get judges into places of power, and it has been effective. And it's like, it's scary. I'm very scared for the next few years, because they have decided to select me as a wedge issue. Just to go back to, I guess, once again, welcome to
it
Pride.
Has to hit home. It has the. It's true to a certain extent.
Because Jay, it's not
They've
fair.
made you. They put the cross mark right over you. You're the battleground.
Exactly. And not only am I the battleground, and look, who can talk truly about fairness? There have been people that have dealt with way worse things than me, but it feels like I'm getting 2 scoops of it. And that sucks, because we've been in the media for a long. We've been here since the 60s, like out. We have been popular within the media since the 80s and 90s, and we have been mainstream since the 2000s. And so to have this war, this cultural battle over again.
Thanks, Maria.
Is this thing here? Woohoo!
I'm all right.
So much love, Marina. We are doing good. We're having us fun. We're asking us anything or saying something funny on June makes Fundies swoon, because once again, gay pride and Black history tend to trigger. I've been thinking about that word too. That word pride, because it's a hard. I sometimes get, some flack on why would you be prideful of something that you can't have any control of. And it's an okay point. It's made me search. However, I haven't really found a good replacement, and I'll give you a reason why. Because what we're trying to counter is shame, and every time I try and look for like the opposite word of shame, it ends up being something analogous to pride. And so there is an element of truth in that, because Norm Macdonald, he has a joke like, your father doesn't go into like, the family get together and go, Bill, I'm so proud of Bill. He sucks the most amount of cotton. You should see this boy. He could suck it faster than anyone else. And I guess it's not prideful that you're gay. It's saying that we're out, and that it would be really weird to just say, this is natural. This is natural.
I
It
mean,
just
it's
feels
like it's like a countering to uh, the closet effect, where for years they were told, okay, 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 you can be who you are. You just do it behind closed doors. We don't want to see it. We don't want to know about it. Don't talk about it. Just do it in your own home and never talk about it. Tell anybody about it. We don't want to know about it. And having to live like that for so long, like the opposite way of that is, yeah, no, we're just going to be out. We're going to be who we are. We're going to let everybody know about it. If you don't like it, go pound sand.
exactly.
Just the way that other couples do, heterosexual people, we've never had to like conceal who we are, what we do, our identity. It's never been looked down upon,
And
nor
that's
should
what
it be.
they ask. They say, well, exactly. And they say, well, should you be proud of being straight? And I go, I understand. It does sound a little weird to say, well, would you be proud? But I guess if you had a multiple decades of people shaming you for being straight, then I guess maybe we should be prideful to be straight. But the whole point is not that we're trying to give everybody a trophy for being who they are. It's just, it is trying to, when you say, well, they're trying to normalize, yes, that is, I would say that is kind of the word, is just normalize so that everyone chills out, not take over or be better or have preference, that in the end you go, okay, and everyone chill out.
For me to put on a pair of men's pants and a men's shirt and go walk around in public is just normal. It's me. But for somebody who's a biological man, a biological male, who feels that they want to transition, for them to go and present themselves as a woman, to live as a woman, to transition, that takes a lot of guts. That is an incredible.
James, say the word you want to say. Say the word.
That takes a lot of balls there. I mean, that really takes a set of Costanzas to be able to go out and do that. So yeah, it is kind of something to. It takes a degree of resolve, courage,
and I guess
you have to kind of do that in a proud way. I mean, if you're going to do something that ballsy, then you might as well be proud about doing it. You might as well not be doing it timidly or.
Can the pride parades go a little bit over the top, a little bit extra? Yes. But can Mardi Gras parades go a little bit too far? Can other stuff that involves either alcohol or partying or people having a good time or a celebration?
Blast yourself at the White House.
Yes. But the point of all of this is because that's just what humans do. And so humans are just trying to normalize themselves. And
sometimes we take it too far. We make bad decisions. We do things we kick ourselves the next day for, like, whoa, that was really cringe, or that was really stupid. I shouldn't have done that.
And by the way, getting roasted, being made, teased, or being part of the joke cycle, that's part of the zeitgeist of our society. So, when Dave Chappelle was talking about doing trans things, when Caitlyn Jenner was coming out, but it does feel like we had these moments, right, James? Like we remember normalizing it, and it was in the media, and we were going through the tabloids. That's what just annoys me the most, is that we had the normalizing of it and everyone was like, what will be next? And the answer is more of the exact same shit, but with completely less stakes.
Basically, yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. It's just
on another token, like, you can't deny the ramifications. You can't deny the effect that it would have. Like, even though you're not sold on it yet, but you're open to the possibility of it. But the unifying effect that it would have if we did realize, if we came to an undeniable conclusion that we're not alone, that there are beings from not native to Earth. And at that point, we would be one planet among a community of other
Well,
planets, and we would all have that one unifying
it would
factor.
unify a lot of us. I don't think it would unify
It's
all
not
of
going to
us.
be peace, brotherhood,
Because
goodwill to men overnight.
how you interact, just this is the same way I feel about AI and synthetic AI moving in the future.
It's not going to make everything, united and happy overnight, but it would have some effect in that direction.
But I will say that we are asking to say anything or say something funny, the show, which is a love letter to our supporters, both our Patreons, which we'll send a shout out. You can join our Patreon. We are trying to hit a new cycle, of 200. We're almost there. See it there.
If you remember Invictus with Morgan Freeman, Matt Damon, the movie about the South African rugby team.
Matt Damon. I'm sorry. I love Matt Damon. But once again, Matt and Trey are just so deep in my head. Once they do a joke.
It was Nelson Mandela's idea to unify the country behind the rugby team to get, everybody as a unifying thing, a unifying force that the whole country could get behind. It's like, if I go to a sports bar to watch and somebody else is saying the Yankees suck and they hate the Yankees, I instantly can identify with that because I hate them. And they're horrible. They're the worst ever. They should be eliminated.
Spoiler for
buy the team and move it to Yazoo City, Mississippi.
But there was a scene of History of the World Part 2. I didn't even think there was going to be a Part 2 because I was old enough to see History of the World Part 1, probably in VHS, not in theater. I'm not that old. But sending love. And in this movie, there's two Yankees trying to sneak to the South. And in the middle of the scene, it's getting extremely tense. And they're faking like a Southern accent. And they're like, we don't take kindly to you Yankees here. And just like a Yankees fan, and just pans after it's been, doing this back and forth with muskets, and there's just like a guy wearing a Yankees uniform, and he's like, well, yeah, I'll take kindly to you. And he like drinks a beer and he throws it, and he's like,
my dad's family, like they were raised in the deep South, Georgia, and they would tell me a story when my aunt's husband, because they ended up getting married, but when he came to take her out one time, he came to the home where they were living, and then because they lived with an aunt and uncle, they're not their parents, but so the aunt was like, that man is a Yankee, because her husband was from that man she's gone out with is a Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
He's from the North.
Which is funny. I find that there's very few people in the North that have Northern pride. I have Northern pride because I just give so much like bants to the people that I argue with online that have Confederate pride. James, it's good to be a winner. What's that football player that throw all that touchdowns? Look, if you're gonna
Dan Marino,
no. That one. So one of them. Listen, you brag about it. What can I say?
My favorite.
And so if you win, we won.
Speaking of football, it's just a couple months away from NFL football. Miami Dolphins.
I think we should have just the league where it's just the football players' wives.
I'd watch.
Finally, they get to hit themselves. I'm just kidding, football fans. I love you so much. Sending love to everyone out there that's watching with us. We were asking us.
And then, of course, they would whine about if one of the players was married to a trans woman, then she could go and she could destroy that sports league too.
That's right. Well, it just amazes me that like you hear like one trans person forever, and then they use that. But there's like how many people are on like a woman's swim team? It's got to be like more than a dozen, right? And it's got to change every
hundreds,
year.
thousands, yeah.
Really? So like what?
No, on one team, no. But yeah,
okay,
dozens,
but it's got to
I mean,
be. But it's got to be
like
more than a
nationwide,
dozen.
there's thousands
and
of
then,
them. Yeah.
and then cycled through. And how many do you think are trans?
1% maybe, less.
But they're dominating, James. Dominating. It's all I can see anymore on the women's basketball team. Oh, wait. That's right. None of us watch. Listen, I'm not giving hate to women's basketball because I actually love Brittany Griner. I love her. I support her.
Vladimir Putin likes to have sex with lesbians.
And so we are definitely, we're either Alex Stein just released a video of him interviewing the woman who's like given a Hufflepuff about Leah Thomas. By the way, in the video, you learn all these silly things, which is like she never saw any genitals. Never saw. She's like, I didn't really like showering. I just ran out anyway, and I ended up showering at home. Or
what? Where they saw Leah Thomas in the locker room?
Yes, and I'm trying to think what the other thing. Alex was like, hey, because of you should actually, or because of transgenders, you should be thanking them because, they actually got me to watch women's swimming. And he's like, do you think she's going to be in any of the upcoming teams? And the woman was like, I don't think so. And Alex was like, well, damn, I don't think I'm going to watch it anymore.
Nobody will care anymore.
It's like, Alex, what happened? What happened to you're a postmodern feminist now. What happened? You want to protect women, children. They would literally, like, I could just imagine them trying to, put the baby in front of, whatever they're causing. We must save the baby. And then the cameras turn off, and they're just like, woo! Anyway, sending so much love. We have Rubiks coming in with a 5-month chat membership, sending happy Pat Robertson is dead, everyone, Pride Month.
Did he die in Pride Month? That would be amazing if he did.
I think he did, right?
Wow.
When you're gonna hear me clickety clack. When did
do it to me? I want to hear
it. Robertson died.
That would be amazing if we started celebrating that day as like a day of remembrance.
June 8th.
A candlelight vigil for Pat Robertson.
My goddess.
A wonderful soul, Amy, that we lost too soon. We lost
exactly.
Too soon. If only Pat could have had more time. If only he could have had another few years. What difference he could have done, the lives he could have made brighter, the people he could have really touched. It's such a tragedy.
The glory, the holes that he could have brought to them. It does kind of bring a smile.
He could have fucked Kenneth Copeland in the ass, Amy. He could have put his dick in Kenneth Copeland's ass.
Now listen.
Kenneth Copeland will never get that chance. Do you understand that?
Listen, I get it. Everyone's got a mother and a father and all of this stuff. But unfortunately, I only have crocodile tears.
Not him.
This man who has only sowed hatred and disgust and, the opposite of sodomy, because sodomy is pretty good times. But
he's near the Fred Phelps category of
that's right. Every woman should marry an archaeologist because the older she gets, the more he'll love her. I was expecting a geology pun. Every woman should marry a geologist because the older she'll get, the more he'll rock her world.
He'll get her rocks off.
Get her rocks off. All right, everyone, tip your waitress. Sending love, Beamsy. Sending love, Rubiks. What is up, Peter?
Oh, boy. Oh,
something funny. There it is again.
Peter.
We're going live this Sunday. Check out Peter. Check out all of us. We are going to be there on Sunday's theistic hotline. Hot. where they will give us
He did
1,000-year-old
Rubiks,
arguments.
yeah. He blamed him for 9/11. He blamed him for everything, basically.
Which is so silly as I go up and down in my voice. Like, the people who did 9/11, like, they put out who did it. Like, does our government control the Taliban? I guess at certain point, going back, it depends. I didn't say
The
funded,
80s, yeah.
depending on the. There's a point in The Boys where it's a satire of superhero shows. So the superheroes are all villains, and the humans are all good guys.
I'll tell you, the Taliban, like, they used to carry mostly 1980s Soviet weapons. Now they've got brand new American M16s.
Well, exactly. And so there's a point in The Boys where one of the heroes, he's doing like a fake movie because even though they're all bastards in real life, they do movies for money and all this stuff. And he's just like, we will always stand with our Mujahideen brothers and sisters. Because he's talking against like a Soviet guy. He's talking about he says even in Afghanistan. It's like, that will age well. Do. What? Who paid off Iron Rock? Can I pay?
Paid off Iron Rock?
Oh, my.
Oh,
what
boy.
is up, Carrie, as well? Carrie's just saying hi to us. Everybody was saying hello, and we're saying hello back. We are asking to say anything or say something funny. This is our love letter just for our Patreons, our supporters, but also just for our subscribers and viewers. We're having fun in this fun. If you send in super chats or are a Patreon or channel member, we will show it up on the screen and do props, and I'll just do a twirl. But if you are a supporter, subscriber, we'll just say hello and talk to you. And if you're a creationist, we will argue with you because that is all we do. So just tell us that the world is 10,000 years old, in chat, and we will just tell you why you're wrong. And Gizmo will say hi. Hello, Gizmo. He always looks so happy to be on stream.
He is. He knows when the stream's getting ready to start. Guess he sees me sitting in the chair talking to this black box, so he knows, oh, okay, it's time for my show.
Oh my, is that the real Antangelo? I don't know. God loves you all. See, you gotta live it 50-50, because if you see it's like a Pokemon. If you see a wild Peter in the high grass,
Peter is in chat, but
then just the probability that proxy accounts just go up. We have learned our lesson because Peter has both tricked people on live with soundboards, and at least James and definitely myself in chat. And so,
couple times, yeah.
And Apple, I tell you, keeps the hole away. I'm gonna throw it hard enough. He is our favorite gravity scientist. Helping his wives fall to the floor. Ooh, did you think of a way? Get a transphobe to admit? I will say that the majority of transphobes, I admit, are in the closet. Almost all of them. Like, without a doubt. There's not a single one I can think of. All the way down to J.K. Rowling. And no one's ever going to talk about. I'm the only person, I swear, who talks about.
She wants to be a man.
She is not only that, she wants to be a gay man specifically. Very specifically a gay man. Now, listen, you could say that doesn't make sense to me, or why not just be a woman? I don't know. I'm just saying. Well, I can tell you why. Because sometimes gender and sexuality don't match. And so
she feels like she's a man, but she still likes dick.
Exactly. She finds, to the point, I will tell you that she finds homosexual male relationships attractive. That is her jam. She has revealed that in her literature. She has written erotic with a male pseudonym. And she still does. Even when she got found out, she still writes under the male pseudonym.
Is it homoerotic?
Yes! Literally it is. And I'm not saying that's bad. I feel like a Norm Macdonald joke in the 2000s. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I mean, like, the only is that it just plays into the fact that it always is an anti-person. Like, it just annoys me that she finds allies with the far right, even though she's a feminist. She's a true TERF. She is a feminist. She's rah, 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 rah. But she's not going to come out. She's going to stay in this closet. And so she's going to get allies with the people who hate us. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be that way.
Surf and turf.
Surf and turf. What is this? After being on E for woo, I've done ecstasy a few times. Well, if she walks around topless, people will be up in arms for walking around topless.
I think she means estrogen.
Oh, estrogen.
Not ecstasy. Drug reference.
Right. You can see where my brain goes to, James.
Yeah, we saw it.
After being on estrogen for a while, if she walks around topless, people will be up in arms.
Yeah.
Well, I always said that was the other thing I pointed out. They were getting angry at someone for a T-girl for showing their breasts. But if
at the White House,
you truly are angry, which makes sense to me if you think that gender is real and she is a woman and that it is showing a woman's breasts. But if you think she's a man, then who cares? Exactly. It's just a man showing. I don't know. The transphobes are, and I hate that word
out there. It's like Chris Christie walking out there and showing his breasts.
Indeed. James, different strokes for different folks. No, you are the imposter. Okay, that's definitely Peter.
You're Chris Christie. Yeah, they're both Peter. It's got three different accounts in here at the same time.
But I love the attention to detail, and the matter on 3 different accounts. That's funny. I am so far in the closet. I passed Narnia a week ago. I will say that is what when I listen to almost all of these anti-LGBTQ, and they always do the same thing with me. It always starts out the same way. Oh, I'm afraid of spiders. Does that mean I would have sex with spiders, James? I'm this close to thinking the people who tell me this are thinking they really do want to have sex with spiders. Now listen, I get it. Like not every phobia is going to mean just because you are afraid of small spaces probably doesn't mean you want to have sex with people in small spaces. I get it. But there's a high correlation from the empirical evidence and experiential evidence that I've found that you just want to suck a big D if you hate gays and you just think that you would be prettier in a dress than I am, that if you are, against trans.
Try the dress on. Yeah.
Exactly.
But, do a Brett.
He's been doing, I swear. Brett,
better?
I feel like maybe it's just been the past few weeks. Maybe he's been getting the message. I don't know if it's because I saw he doesn't like the Amazing Atheist, and I haven't seen much Amazing Atheist content, but I don't recently even know if he's still even a thing. He is still a thing because I have been watching some of his content recently because Brett dislikes him, and I've watched Brett, and like I think the people are starting. The liberals are starting to catch on that the conservatives are reacting so hard to the trans thing because I think that they thought it was over because there's no push for anything new. There's nothing we want, except to be treated like decent individuals.
Yeah, just to be treated normally.
Now, look, there's tons of videos out there of a trans person. Oh, good night, Rubiks. I hope you have a lovely night. Thank you for joining us and having some good bants. Look, there's videos out there. I know they've seen, of a trans person freaking out because someone called them the wrong pronoun. Now, so exactly the sir. Now, I get it that those aren't the highest moments of the LGBTQ movement. I see both sides to those videos, if I'm being honest. I understand that that when you're first coming out, first of all, you're going to be a little bit more sensitive. I call it, once again, we're politically incorrect, so I'm going to use the term here. I call it the awkward the awkward tranny stage. You can call it the awkward trans stage, whatever you want to call it. Then I think the first few months that you come out, maybe even the first year, you are like having like a very fast puberty, and you just do everything that you didn't want to do. You're like, oh my God, I wanted to, wear extremely slutty clothing, and you
like
can't.
You have that slut stage, like
you might have a rebellious stage, yes.
You live that, yeah.
And so, there's good times if you're at a club, if you're at a bar, if you're there. There's almost like socially acceptable times to be slutty, and so, but if you have wanted to wear certain clothes your whole life and you haven't been able to, and you have to get it out of your system. You don't know how to talk, you don't know how to walk, you don't feel as confident, and puberty is awkward. That whole stage is awkward. And so it naturally makes sense that it goes with it. I know Ian's going to be like, you don't have to show it, but I can't help it. Davenport sending so much love and support. That's right, baby. It's a Pride Month. Boom, boom, boom. We only have a few more days. Gotta celebrate. Oh, especially after they were just so triggered past few month or two. Woo! So sending so much love. Number one, Fanny says, and I love you, Ian Davenport. Do. Thank you for all the love and support. Pride. It is also just ironic that they really. Oh, thank you so much, Carrie. I almost was going to wear just a normal outfit, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm one of those people that the reason I like holidays is because I dress according to them. They're fun to me. I think I've said this before. I don't think there's an ounce of Irish in me. But if you don't think I'm going to get green nails for St. Patty's Day, then you cray, because they're going to be green. They're going to be probably different colors of green. And so it's just the type of person I am. I like to dress for this, and it drives me crazy how much it drives them crazy. It was getting boring, I guess. It was getting culturally acceptable. Now they're going to basically try to boycott every brand that does a pride or a pro-LGBTQ thing. And it's going to...
There is virtually no corporation out there who doesn't, in their hiring, in their HR departments, who is not pro-LGBT. You can't get away with it anymore.
I mean, they hate this phrase, but it really is. It is the losing side of history, the wrong side. They hate these phrases, and yet, I mean, where do you expect it to go? Where do you expect these battles to go? You can't actually. We don't recruit. I know you think we recruit, and they've showed videos where they start where it's basically people trolling and saying, we're coming for your kids and all this stuff at a Pride event. That was what I just got seen. We can't come for your kids. That's not an actual thing. You cannot recruit. That is not how sexuality or gender works. James is never going to come across a billboard that says it's okay to be gay. And he's going to be like, holy shit, it is okay to be gay. I should suck a dick. Can you imagine if that's how it worked?
They're trying to recruit you, Amy.
Trying to recruit you. Yes, it would have to be a billboard that would say, not only would it have to be a billboard that says it's okay to be gay, it would have to be a billboard that would say, it's okay to be gay. Sign up to be gay at joingay.com. It'd have to be the same as the military posters.
A billboard that says sex and gender are the same, and you're like, oh really? Amy, you never knew that. Sex and gender are the same. You're not a woman after all.
Well, I just like that is their argument. They try and say you're a man, and then they go, there you go. And I get
that was from
I know
the impromptu. Remember the impromptu debate where after a while it just got to be a bunch of assholes in there. You're a man. You're a man.
And I feel bad sending love to both Sumami and Beamsy because I know you both were being fantastic interlocutors, but I could not name it anything but incomprehensible nonsense because that's what those trolls were trying to push forward. And so, oh my lordy. But I just think what I also love about that is because incomprehensible nonsense is right next to Mormonism. And like it's just in my head, it sets up for a joke where it's like, same. I'm just kidding, Mormonism. Well, am I? Oh my goodness. Well, the thing is that what I loved about that guy and about all of them, about all the theists that believe in stuff, is that they're very good at rationalizing these very silly beliefs. Just
imagine if, Amy, somebody had in 2007, okay, invested $1 million with Bernie Madoff, and they still think they're getting that money back, Amy. They still think that money is coming to them. Bernie is he was a legitimate investor. He didn't do anything wrong. And you'll get that money any day with interest. Yeah, you're going to get that money any day with interest. And because no matter what you try to tell them to say that, no, it's a scam. He was a fraud. They just come up with any fucking excuse they can come up with under the sun. It's like they're in denial. They really are. It's like someone is in denial.
Though I will say in a second, I'm going to talk for like a minute more, James. But once I hear you get going, I think I'm going to be right back for just a minute. And then we'll probably do this for another hour. And yeah, we'll start to maybe do shout outs in a second, our vocal shout outs. Sending love out there also. You can join. We're looking to expand. I see lots of members out there, but we're looking to get even more. We do recruit. Yes, not to be gay, I guess, because it just anyone who tells me that you have to be bisexual. Anyone who tells me that you can be convinced to be gay or to be straight or any of those, or to even be bi, I feel like you have to be bi already.
There could be.
Doesn't make
sense. The only thing I could imagine is like if somebody was bi or gay, but they were in denial, and maybe somebody was able to break them out of that, then I guess you could say, oh, maybe they convinced me. But there would have to be something already there, some type of proclivity or.
Maybe you try it and you like things and you go, ooh, I didn't know I liked butt sex. I still don't think, someone could say, I still don't think men are attractive and I like butt sex. There are men out there that just get pounded. There's a whole wide variety of sexuality out there. And, the easier thing is just.
We all want the Jell-O. We all want to drink the Jell-O.
Consenting. If we are a program and we're looking for our logic flows, are they an adult? Did they consent? If so, you can even have multiple people have those. Go knock your socks off. As long as you're not, once again, don't lie. And does your partner know?
You could do the same one a whole bunch of times. Rapid fire over and over again.
Boom, boom, boom.
Just suck that dick over and over again.
But
go Jesse Lee Peterson on that dick.
Why would you have a man or a woman do a man's job?
That would be gay.
That would be gay.
You can't have a woman suck a man's dick. That would be gay.
But they're just obsessed with sex. The religious are obsessed with sex.
Which is like that the video we watched about Sodom. Saying the sin of Sodom was sodomy, which, well, actually, that was actually just one in a list of things that the Bible said that they were doing that God didn't like. I mean, it was among the list, but it wasn't universally sodomy. Okay, the thing is that, well, if you're not gay, then, well, okay, if it's just about sodomy, none of it applies to you, right? God says don't be gay, don't have sex with men, and you're not doing that anyway. Well, that's nothing to you. Okay, all right, fine. But if it's some of the other things that maybe they're guilty of, then, well, maybe they might feel a little guilty about that. But if it's just a gay thing and they're not gay, then who cares? Hey, yeah, kill the gays. Hey, Jesse. Yeah, we were talking a little bit before about what's going on in the news with the UAP UFO disclosure that's coming out, whistleblowers, congressional hearings. I'm actually was talking about getting on MDD. I just would need somebody else to come with me who would be at least open to the idea of UAPs, and then I'm sure he could find two people who are against it. But if anybody is interested in that, leave a comment or send an email to the show. It's amynewmancomedy@gmail.com. If you're interested. I mean, I know most people on the skeptic side are either aggressively disinterested, think it's nothing, it's all birds and stuff like that, or they're just waiting to see what happens, which is fair. It's fine. But yeah, it does seem like every day that people are waiting for the bottom to fall out of the story. It never does. It just keeps going deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole. Now, whether it ends up going anywhere at the bottom or not, only time will tell that. But it is at least interesting where we're going. I know Senator Rubio the other day had said that, because the big thing with the whistleblower David Grush was that, well, he's not firsthand. He's only heard this from other people. Senator Rubio came out and confirmed that they have heard from firsthand witnesses who have given testimony under oath to Congress. It really is just seeming like if this is all just a big conspiracy, it's hard to imagine all these people coming together conspiring to just yank their chain, just to fuck with them, just to make up this story about these retrieval programs, or if they're being fed this information from a central source for some reason. I don't even know. Yeah, right. Alex Stein. Yeah, no, I'm looking for serious-minded people, rational, reasonable people that I would debate have as a partner, not somebody who is way out left field. I mean, there is a guy out there who basically says that. Basically, I've talked to Amy about him before. Is that when Star Trek came out in the late 60s, that technology was actually obsolete. We already had better than the USS Enterprise in the 1950s, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. But that's part of the problem of trying to sift through what the plausible versus the implausible, the reasonable versus the batshit crazy, and it all kind of mixed together. So I can understand why a lot of people have just washed their hands of the whole thing over the years and just said the whole thing is just nonsense. I can understand why a lot of people have done that.
But we may cover Alex Stein's video, I'll tell you what, of the last one, because there's just so much nonsense. There's stuff that's funny to me, even though no one's laughing, and so it's complicated.
He better watch himself, though, because if the shirtless guy on the horse got wind that he was using him as a joke about having sex with Brittany Griner, Alex Stein might be getting radiation poisoned. I don't know. you better watch out for some Russian guys at his Starbucks. If his iced latte starts glowing, he might not want to drink it because,
Oof. Russia's in not a good place. Good luck, Russia. I see you finally put out the battle from Russia against Russia, but yeah. We are asking us anything or saying something funny. June makes Fundies swoon.
Still waiting for the holodeck. Oh, I know, James Wolfe. Do you remember from Deep Space Nine when Quark was trying to get a picture of Major Kira so somebody could have sex with her in the holodeck, and they fucked with him? They changed the picture so it was Major Kira's body but Quark's head. Oh, that was a classic Deep Space Nine episode. There's Quark, by the way, and he is a Ferengi. If you're familiar with the Ferengi,
the Ferengi,
they're basically like American. They're like super capitalists, like a super uber capitalist alien civilization. All they care about is money and profit, commercial exploitation, and the women aren't even allowed to wear clothes. Only the women stay naked and in the hall, and the men go out and make money.
Yeah, I mean there could be all different types of civilizations out there. I should watch more Star Trek.
You should.
Communist jokes aren't funny unless everyone gets them. Seems like there's one for Leo. Praise was just doing an Leophilius takedown. Thus, we have to do a shout out for youtube.com/Leophilius. I don't know. What was the... screaming at me. Oh, I forgot that this is still set on Spectre. There we go. Boo. Let's see. Pray you can hear me clickety-clack. It's the best stuff when you can hear me clickety-clack. Leophilius is clueless about the problem of evil. Ooh. Why is it I get the feeling that it's the creationists that have no idea about the problem of evil?
Yeah.
But we're sending love. A $5 super chat from Off the Chain Atheist. Woohoo! Thank you so much.
Thanks, Off the Chain.
Then I can go back here off the chain. I can't help it, just like dancing. Listen, if you're gonna spend all this time picking out an outfit, you gotta show it off, right? Anyway, thank you so much, Off the Chain Atheist, for all the love and support. We are going to keep on giving that love and support to you guys, gals, everything in between. As we ask us anything or say something funny, thank you so very much, Love Chain.
Now, where'd you get that? Because I'm sure it wasn't at Target unless you bought it like a month ago.
Very specifically, I got that from Spencer's, I believe. And so... there's just a few places that I think that people just stereotypically assume I shop at, even though I shop everywhere. And even the places that they don't. But Hot Topic, Spencer's, and Target all have Pride stuff easily and have for years. And so I used to work at Spencer's, so I feel naturally at home in there. It was a good place. You know, I always wanted to work at Hot Topic, but Spencer's ended up being more of my jam anyway. You know, they got the naughty section in the back. They have all the fun clothing and yeah. Sending so much love. I see everybody saying hello.
He said he wanted his joke to be in the super chat, but you didn't. It posted in the regular chat instead.
Oh, really? Gotcha.
Off the Chain Atheist. Yeah.
A friend once told me I was a skeptic. I asked him if he had any evidence to support his claim and to prove it by providing verifiable facts. Yeah, I know. Listen, it's like asking, you're a skeptic? Do you have a source for that? It's true. It's true. And I mean, the flat earthers and all that
I'm very
stuff. They love
skeptical
to
of
call them skeptics and
Globe skeptic.
globe skeptics and but I always like to think that it's the skeptics that when you are putting yourself on the side of empirical evidence and the peer review process and not accepting anything until there's evidence. But once there is evidence, actually accepting that and having that high bar to try and get over. But sending so much love off the chain, Atheist. Thank you so much.
You may be surprised to hear that Michael Shermer himself interviewed a guy about AP on his show about a week and a half ago.
Well, Michael Shermer does. I think he does a lot of skeptic comment, and
he's a skeptic. Yeah. He's a skeptic. He's a high level skeptic. But he's not
level, 9
like
level.
that, taking it seriously. Michio Kaku takes it seriously.
Well, I think everyone should take it seriously. I have an extremely high bar, but the high bar first of all, is lower than the supernatural. So in retrospective, it's really down here because we already have an example of it. So how can you not have it lower if we at least have one example of it existing in the natural world? Pride video game recommendations. My daughter likes The Quarry and Life is Strange. That is a good question. I will say that it's not a video game, and if your daughter is an adult, then she will like The Boys. I just am obsessed with that show now, I think. But it's funny how they treated LGBTQ people in that show, which is like they somehow were able to grill how the media and the opposition treats us while also somehow being supportive of us. So it's like this great thing. And it has a strong bisexual character. The funny thing is they try and, well, I don't want to spoil it. And so I'm trying to think of other Their Boys Don't Cry. But see, these are movies. I'm trying to think of awesome video game recommendations. You could have in the Spider-Man game, you have, what is her name? Because she wears the black and white suit. She's like the Mary Jane, but she is, I believe, LGBTQ herself. And my brain is going blank, but I'll continue to think of more. Stranger Things. You have Wednesday. Wednesday actually represents LGBTQ people fantastically. And what I mean fantastically is generally there are certain shows, certain media that they call it queer baiting, in that, you know, they're just pandering to it, and there are others that it actually is incorporated well, and it feels like this is a gay person just dealing with stuff, and so it's just representation. I'm going to keep on going with show. Actually, it is a game. Yes, I found one. Because it's in the show, which means it has to be in the game, which is The Last of Us. The Last of Us has a gay character, the weapons dealer for the main character is a gay guy. He's a bear. You see his backstory with his male lover in the show, but I think he hints about the fact that he is gay in the storyline. Last of Us is fantastic, by the way, the cordyceps virus. Speaking of which, guess what, James? I just got done. And so that's right. I just found that out this episode too. Ellie is gay. That Ellie is gay, which is the other main the female main character. Because in my episode, she just had a date. She just had it was the equivalent of a date,
what are we
and they ended up kissing. It's basically a zombie show or video game because it's both. And so my mom's calling me.
I thought for a second you were talking about Nation of Angels. I'm like, it's your character. You would know whether she's gay or not.
No. I have one or two LGBT characters, but no. I'm talking about The Last of Us. The girl he's trying to get across. Spoiler alert. Though you learn most of this stuff early on, so it's not that big of a spoiler. But the girl, so it's a zombies, all this, but it's instead of the infection being undead, it's from the cordyceps virus. And so in some of these zombies, a lot of them are fast because it's not like their whole thing's damaged. They're replaced and host and all this stuff. And the longer that they are a cordyceps, the more they go through kind of a transformation. So only the first level is zombie, but then as if they survive and last longer, they get kind of crazier and crazier looking, and harder and harder to shoot. And so Ellie is one of the rare people that she was bit and she's not infected. And so the storyline is trying to get her to the rebel group to try and see if they can make a cure. But she's gay. I love Ellie. Ellie is fantastic. And I keep on telling this to Rachel. Reason I love Ellie is because she has grit, but she's funny. I can say it either way. She's funny and she has grit. Like, she'll make jokes, but like she has some like gruff to her. Like she wants to go and actively learn how to shoot a gun. She wants to actively learn how to, catch rabbits. Go watch The Last of Us. It's a fantastically enduring movie or video game. 9 out of 10 video game, 9 out of 10 show. How can you not love it, ladies and gentlemen? But yeah, speaking of the cordyceps virus, I can't help myself. I am officially done chapter 4 of my book. And so depending on how you look at it, I'm either like a third of the way done or a fourth of the way done, or I'm very close to being half. Because if I'm now in chapter 5, where shit's about to hit the fan. Really is. Everything's about to go crazy. And so if I can just get through 5 and 6, I am halfway done my book. It's taken a while, but James, it is happening. It is going slowly but surely.
It is happening, yeah.
I don't think I'm going to have any competition. Like, I don't have much. I can't think of any. The closest I can think of is Supernatural, and even then, it's kind of maybe. Angels. There's just not a lot of,
not a lot of lore out there.
Nah. They're so revered that I don't think people want to do media about them, or if they do media, that, they have to be this holy thing. Or you are the Jay and Silent Bob version, which is also funny. But that's kind of what I'm doing. My angels are much closer to the boys' superheroes and the angels from Is it kissing Amy? Catching Amy? Catching Amy. Me, apparently. Chasing Amy. Thank you. I knew it was something, some sort of verb or whatever with me. What's up, Ember? What's up, Nitty? What's up, everybody? Sending so much love. Dun, dun, dun. We are having fun as we are asking us anything or saying something funny. We are talking about June makes those fundies swoon. Gay pride, Black history, which really just anything not them, though, you know, they're too easy to trigger, James. Almost everything triggers them. If it's not a 2,000 or 3,000, 5,000 plus year old book.
As you always point out, they trigger themselves because that's who they're usually fighting. They fight most viciously against other Christians.
Oh, they hate each other. Like, they actually use us as a benchmark. Oh, we disagree with this atheist, but oh my God, you disagree on the Trinity?
These non-Trinitarians, like, they're worse than the atheists. They're
okay. You two hash it out when you figure it out. Come tell us.
Trinity versus non-Trinity. The Matrix versus Matrix.
I showed Rachel the first time. What the hell was it called? He's stuck watching his reality version. Truman Show. Oh my Lord. The gears were going on. She thought it was a pretty good movie. I feel like the Truman Show was like warming up for the Matrix. It was also, it predicted all the reality television about our lives. Do. But we are sending so much love. We'll go for about 30 more minutes.
You remember that? Atheism
remember
is like
what?
The Truman Show. The episode we did like a year ago.
Oh,
Atheism is like The Truman Show, the video.
Yeah. They have all this. The other
we
guy
just
was
think
like,
that this is just our world that we live in, but we don't know that there's God behind the curtain.
Yes, and we sometimes we got that guy, the Muslim, saying we're like pod people.
I do remember something like that, yeah. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah, makes sense. I know, Michael, we've all been here before, and we all made our way out. Let's see. So it's Wednesday, so we may be back later in the week. Probably heading into the weekend, actually. Saturday, Sunday. I know we've got quite a few videos lined up that we're due to review. Some silly videos because, you know, the theists are always putting out amazingly stupid content, and we feel duty bound to give it to you guys for your enjoyment. And it gives us something.
Yeah, it never stops because for whatever reason, religion is the number one superstition in America.
Oh, by far. It starts out dumb and just gets dumber. And that's the problem. Like, religion by itself is dumb enough. I mean, silly. But what happens when they try to pull it out of the pages and into the real world, into reality, it always goes absolutely bonkers. That's why you can at least respect somebody like Beamsy, who has his faith, his religious beliefs, but he doesn't intermingle those with reality. It's something somewhere else. It doesn't, you know, directly affect our reality in any measurable way.
I understand.
It makes it all falsifiable, but not
mixing
either.
Or should I say not mixing, separating out and having religion here and science here. We're not religious. However, there are people that go into the lab and they don't bring the religion in with them. They put their lab coat in and they do science.
Well, that's like when they.
Oh,
Atheism is a religion. It's faith-based. You can't prove there's a God. You have to have faith there's no God.
no, we don't.
Negative. It's a response to a claim. We're evaluating. They have made a claim. We've evaluated and said, no, sorry, not buying it. Come back
Don't
to us
like
when
what
you
you're
have
selling.
better. Yeah, come back to us when you have a little bit more. They're like, no, that's it. You don't get more. It's got to be faith. You have to have faith. God wants you to have faith. Okay. Then I guess he doesn't want me to believe. No, he really, really, really wants you to believe in him. He does.
In fact, will actually punish us if we disagree with him or don't believe.
So he's going to withhold the evidence that he exists, demand you believe it anyway, and punish you if you can't. Well, yeah, that's actually exactly what he does.
Seems like a good guy.
I feel like we should have, like, I feel like Chris Disciple needs to come around with some type of way of making it sound better than that than I'm able to make it sound. Hope he's doing well out there, Chris, because he is always so reasonable and polite, and obviously he has a very different take on it than we do, but yeah. We like
exactly, but at least he has always been extremely respectful. He has always listened, and I think that's what we're really just trying to do, is have good conversations.
We like talking to people who disagree with us because we are secure in our beliefs. We think that we have thought them out. We think that we've evaluated the issues and we have a good basis for our beliefs. But we are still willing to entertain the possibility that we could be wrong, that there could be information or argument that we haven't heard yet that will change our mind. And that's basically in its most pure form of skepticism, just being able to be shown that you're wrong, that something's not true.
Send in so much love to Farwell. I see what just send in. He sent us a like in here after the MDD. Send in love to Modern Day Debate as well. The whole community. Hail Hugger, send in love. And I see a question from James Wolfe. Do you think the word spiritual has done utility beyond referring to something supernatural, such as going to the Pantheon was a spiritual, is that Parthenion? It was a spiritual experience. It has a certain gravitas. I used to be much more warm to the word spiritual in like my 20s. Now I'm starting to wane on it. I would still rather someone be spiritual instead of religious. I still think that
it's like a gateway. It's like a ploy. It's like a back door to letting superstition, or like a license, like to engage in things that aren't rational.
But you could also see at the opposite pipeline, someone goes from religious to spiritual to non-belief. And so, if people need to be spiritual, if they need to have that element in their life, I think it's okay. However, like James was saying, we try to have as few false beliefs and as many true beliefs as possible. And so most of the spiritual beliefs do not align up with that. So
I mean,
it's a give and pull. That's also what
and the
she
fact
said.
that the concept is so nebulous and vague and vacuous. What exactly the person means by spiritual? Do you just mean something that like shakes you to your core, makes you contemplate your place in the world and the universe, just gives you that feeling of awe or inspiration? I guess maybe some people could refer to that as spiritual in a sense, but do you mean there's something external to your body that is capable of being somewhere else or experiencing something else or living on after you die or in some other realm? We just have no reason to believe any of that.
Well, amen. So yeah, if you're out there and you're spiritual, you definitely have a home here. But if you are spiritual or religious and you are skeptic, then you are definitely part of the skeptic and rantic community, because we're skeptics. That's our whole shtick.
The worst
We
we'll
love
do is
James
ask you
Wolfe.
why. The worst we'll do is ask you what you believe and why. And yeah, exactly. We love you, James Wolfe.
Exactly. So keep on sending in more questions or one-liners, and we will show them up. We have about 20-ish minutes left, which means, James, we really do need to get these shout-outs. Speaking of
We do.
Chris Disciple, yes, indeedy. So the best way to support the show, we'll do it a few times because this is our love letter and our support out there to try and get there. To get our goal, we're trying to get 200. We have many great supporters out there, both channel members by hitting that join button and getting our Evolve badge system right on YouTube itself or heading over to Patreon. But we're going to do some shout outs, and then we're going to maybe talk about a few more topics, a few more questions, and then wrap up. But we're going to have a lot of more fun in the days to come. Like James said, we're going to get that Lilith.
A lot of more fun.
That the Lilith is pending. We'll figure out which day.
She's due to be whacked by us.
But speaking of which, our supporters like Chris Disciple, thank you so much, Chris Disciple, reminding us that we are part of the skeptic and ranting community. Doesn't matter if you're a theist, religious, spiritual, but there are also many non-believers. It's everybody, because that's bottom level. The top level is skeptic. I think you'd agree that you're an atheist because of your skepticism, but
yeah.
But the top level is skepticism. All right, Dale Pastel, so much love because we're looking for empirical evidence. Thank you so much. We're
Thanks, Dale.
in fact, if you ever get someone who tells you that empirical evidence is unfair, please challenge the notion of their almighty God, of their all-powerful God. He's also everywhere, James, but not in the real world, apparently. Not in the physical world. He has problems.
Well, I mean, he could be. He just chooses not to be.
Why for you? Exactly.
He wants you to have faith in him. If he just came to you, Amy, you wouldn't need to have faith.
Exactly. What kind of test would it be if he just showed up? It wouldn't be. You wouldn't need faith because none of those things are good. We should not be gambling.
That's the whole point.
Or having faith. Yes.
This isn't a fucking life. Isn't a fucking casino where you put you got all the religions on the roulette wheel and you just gotta bet on the right one. Otherwise, you're fucked.
You want to gamble? Go to Atlantic City. Buy scratch cards. Those are fun types of gambling. Not where you say, "Am I going to bet my entire soul because this almighty thing is going to burn me forever"? Well, first of all, we don't have souls. And second of all, we shouldn't have morality based on baseball bats. Some guy over your head trying to make a threat. But sending love to Senator Cato. So that means your morality is right. Sending love to Senator Cato because they're trying to get us into what is it called?
Or not-
Handmaid's Tale. They're trying to make that a documentary. No. Though all these people that want to put all these sexual laws in place, they all probably have freaky sex. I saw, and it was completely not true, but I wanted it to be true almost. I guess it'd be, but it was like Grindr threatens Florida Republican senators that if they keep on doing anti-LGBT laws, that they will release the profiles of Republicans. It's like,
what a threat,
but it was
right?
not true.
Yeah, it's a joke, but it is funny.
But it is funny. Exactly.
Like banning Donald Trump from Pornhub. You could just make another account. But you can bet he is on. You can bet he is on Pornhub. Just doesn't have at Donald Trump as his username.
STORMY space PEE. Anyway, Senator Cato, thank you so much. Thank you to all of our supporters, to Dale and Chris, as well as James out there. Thank you so very much, James. We saw James Wolfe. He once again does what the other creationists do. Him and Pat do. They're actually, I think, of that, but creationists are allergic to doing research, and so James Wolfe and Pat, they just kind of, and Beamsy, and that's what I love about our audience and our skeptic and ranting community. We have people that are actually in academia. Now, yes, it's true that a lot of us, Pat will come here to, maybe drink a beer, and I'm over here being queer, but we're here to relax and talk about skepticism, James. I just want you to know I'm only saying all this because I want to rhyme things with queer, but it's always worth it every single time. Anyway, I just sending so much love. Oh my goodness, sending so much. Speaking of queers, I'm just kidding, actually. We say this to each other. Oh my goodness, what we would never. Rachel Holen, the one and the only, the fabulous, the lovely. We're just having a great Pride Month. We can't help ourselves. We're talking about this today. We talk about it, sometimes. We're in a lesbian relationship. We're pansexuals in a lesbian relationship. But it's a fantastic, it's a good time. Or at least it was good a few years ago, was really the highlight of the LGBTQ. Give us a few more years, and then things will cool back down. Just...
Remember when you had because you shouldn't have to give details of it, but Goldie specifically wanted to know the details of it, your relationship, and then just the look he had when you said that, well, she's a trans woman, I'm a trans woman, and you just saw his head just spinning, like if it could have blown. Yeah, he was just bonkers.
And then Jesse, from out of nowhere, just came over and said, "What? We're having a camp? Let me do a man's job." I'm sorry. Just did
I'll show you how a man does it.
Shower. Yahweh tells Moses he will stick around because if people don't see him. Oh my God! Were you reading a book? Was it a Book of Mormon? Yeah, Book of Mormon and the Quran. Both of them. They both get subtly, little bit crazier. Now listen, the Torah has a lot of crazy shit. Revelation and all that, absolute nonsense.
Oh,
but
Ember, is that when
interesting how they
comes down to meet with the elders? Yeah. Because they're like, you could read the Bible where it says no man has seen God, but didn't he come down and meet with the elders of Israel? Well, yeah. But not in his godly form or whatever.
Yeah, he's got to be wearing a big old condom right on his D.
Moo-moo?
Yeah, he's got to wear a moo-moo so you can see him. He's got to be wearing protection. What's up, Fenton? Sending so much love. Where are we sending? Sending so much out to Rachel Holen. She's reminding us that if you're taking slaves from the nation around you, you're a dick. if you are taking femboys and they were at bars and they wanted to come with you from a gay bar, you can make it so you have control over their dick. What are we talking about? Anyway.
Femboy dicks.
James, that's like a good 30% of what I should be talking about.
There you go.
Speaking of which, we're sending love. The whole Pride Month is sending love to Emily. I think we tucked Emily into bed, but we're sending love to themselves because it triggers creationists. It's always triggered creationists, though. Like the regular, like they need to. There has to be a little bit less. Like I don't know who it is. Like I don't know if it's the waves just seem stronger. Maybe it's just if I just turned off my news, because that's the news I often give to people. Like if they say just the politics are driving me crazy, it's just like turn off your TV, go away from your news algorithm for a while, and then come back to it. You shouldn't completely tune out to yourself. Yes, in fact, maybe come back to it every week. Maybe a few times a month, because you shouldn't tune yourself off. I will never, because if you make, like I keep on saying, if you make yourselves completely apathetic, then the people who are completely obsessed will be in control. But if you also obsess about it, it can drive you crazy, because it's also the type of thing that if you are trying to get something and you aren't the movement pusher, then it's a very slow process. And so you will drive yourself to drink if you do not take, Bernie has been pushing for things. I think Bernie Sanders has always looked old. I think he came out with gray hair. However,
if you look back from like the 90s, he looks basically the same. But the thing about him is that he's been saying the same shit.
Very consistent.
He's so consistent, yeah. He was talking about gay rights back in the 80s and 90s.
And that's you kind of have to just have the long-term effect. Like, I'm not saying ignore it. In fact, instead I'm saying just have that short-term burn. Have your views, take in data, and try to have educated opinions. And then vote every time that we can, because it does matter. Oftentimes, unfortunately, for better or worse, it is the only real metric by which we are going to enact change. And some people, especially the religious folks, rely on demographics, not voting, because they think they don't vote. And so please vote. Do. Yeah, well, and so keep on going. Thank you so much, Rachel, and everybody sending so much. And Emily, thank you, Emily. Like I said, we are celebrating. Thoughts on? I go back and forth. Man. Well, a lot of people get scared. James Wolfe asked thoughts on mandatory voting. A lot of people get scared on anything when you use the word mandatory. Though if we made it so easy that it was like just a push of a button or something that came to your house or something, I don't know. It's
I mean, there are a lot of people who legitimately don't have any interest in it. They don't understand the issues, the candidates, they really just have no interest in it. And I mean, I guess in an ideal society, everybody would vote, participate. But
wouldn't you be able to say just I don't want anything if you didn't want to? I'm kind of like devil's advocating, because I see both sides. Like I said, I know that anytime someone says mandatory, it gets very scary, because we do very few things mandatory. However, I really do wish we would get our voting rolls up. The older I get, the more I know it's true that voting is it's the only thing that unfortunately matters. when it comes to political views. Not the only thing that matters, because there's many important jobs out there, but very specifically when we are talking about enacting political change. Now, I helped someone who is now actually in office. That's the other thing that is crazy to me. I helped Carrie Harris run for Senate, and now she is, what the hell is she? Let's find out. She is a Delaware or state representative. I shouldn't have said the docs, though. Whatever. I keep on saying where I am, though. I'm not even in that state anymore.
Not even in Delaware right now.
Exactly. But she's a state representative. It's just crazy to me that someone I was in her political campaign, and now she is actually, because I expected us to lose. I thought that was fine. But
yeah, I was back in 2004 because I was on stage with George W. Bush when he came down to West Palm Beach. Yeah. Had to be vetted by the Secret Service and everything back. I worked on his campaign. I used to be more of
agree,
a
Amber, also.
conservative.
Huh? Well, and we'll say, like you were trying to tell me, especially before you met me, that you were pro LGBT, you were pro trans. You actually said the same thing that my mother said. She said, well, I didn't really think about it. And so, like, she had opinions. She didn't really hate them, but she didn't really think about it. And so it was like, a live and let live. And I think the vast majority of LGBTQ people want that live and let live attitude. When you look at the really super religious or conservative or wherever magazines, once again, this is my feelings, all right? And I'm going to get my feelings everywhere. But it just feels like...
all in your feelings.
Get all in the feels. It just feels like they look for articles to be upset about. But, like, they're not obtainable to
really
anything that have to do with our lives. And
really
it's just...
go through, like, thousands of Twitter posts and videos just looking for something to be upset about.
I tell you, that is the other thing. This has driven me mad. This drove me crazy before Elon owned it. It drives me crazy now, is that the media for years has taken Twitter as serious. And I don't know why. It doesn't. Twitter to me is like any other. Why? There's a million different chat applications.
It's because of laziness. Because instead of doing the footwork, instead of interviewing, talking to people, how easy is it to whip up Twitter.com and look what any old idiot says?
I guess.
And
but can I give you an example that will never happen? That would be like, check out. Well, I guess it can, but it doesn't. I guess you would say I'm more likely to see, check out this ant's crazy Facebook post or whoever, than check out Elon Musk's crazy Facebook post. You don't even see, like, and I know he's not the owner of Facebook, but even when he wasn't the owner of Facebook, for whatever reason, I think, yes, it is laziness because of the short format, whatever. They have decided that Twitter is serial. And as someone who has been in the bottom, the absolute gutter of discussion formats for many years of her life,
4chan
and all of it, that is exactly what Twitter is. It's no different. It shouldn't be any more serial. And that's what other drives me crazy is because, and they'll look through comments from like 10 years ago, all of it, the both sides, doesn't matter, liberal, conservative. If you take Twitter seriously, stop. That's my PSA. Just stop.
It's like that feminist with the red hair that became, with the angry face that became the meme. Like, this is what feminism is. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's like
glasses and
right. Just this pissed off look on her face, really mad, and she became the face of feminism.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, all
well,
those memes. Oh, here we go. We have another. What do you think about the rehabilitation of George W. Bush? I think Trump has helped him to be rosier light by comparison. I can explain that too.
I would say, I mean, Bush, he was never an extremist. He was always kind of a mainline Republican. He obviously, some people did something on 9/11, and some people did a thing, and he had to make some tough
7-Eleven's a
decisions
part-time job? Did you know
as
that, James?
as a result of that, and maybe he wasn't prepared to be able to evaluate and make decisions at that high of a level. Um, I don't know. It's
He's also number one. Both of them are friends with Michelle Obama. I think Michelle Obama is sweet for whatever you want to say, because
I
I
don't know
know some
why so
comedians
many
have taken
people
pot shots at why
hate.
like Michelle, like first ladies shouldn't be being political or doing political things, but like now that she's out of politics, well, why would you?
Hillary Clinton, she was the first lady.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, she was. I think Trump. Well, and yes, that's the other thing. That if you are going to just be, well, the comparison is none other because the joke used to be that George W. Bush, at least the younger, was in not the smartest peanut in the peanut patch. But that's because he was actually a C student. He wasn't actually an idiot. He was just,
Not a
he
complete
was
moron.
he was, for lack of a better word, a jock. That's the kind of thing that, like,
I mean, the only thing that gives me pause. So obviously, the Iraq War was like the defining moment of his presidency, and um, obviously, I think most people now know that they didn't have weapons. Probably would have been better if we not had gone into Iraq.
well, it was a conspiracy. They took a bad moment that they learned was not the country, and I think they just assumed that Americans would go Muslim. They're
I don't
not. They're
think it.
not.
I mean, I don't think it was like. I don't think it was that much of a conspiracy. I mean, you can look back into like the UN reports and everybody going back to the late '90s. They all said Saddam had these weapons programs. He was evasive about it, like he didn't want to fully cooperate. Which,
But
I
don't
mean,
you
from
think
his
they knew
standpoint,
it was Bin Laden? Don't you think
no,
that
no.
they
Well,
knew?
no, I mean, they didn't say that Saddam did 9/11. That was never the argument.
Well,
Really, the
no,
argument
that's
was that he
what
had
I
these
think.
weapons programs.
So from the inside people, it's like we killed the people, blah blah blah. That is a thing. What I think happened, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that Bin Laden trained, well, because of his education. I hate saying Western education more, just like Richard Dawkins said, they're just secular subjects. And so he had his education, and then he was religious and decided to become a religious zealot and became a,
Terrorist
a
financier.
murderer, a terrorist financier, and trained these people. Of course, he was never going to do it himself because he doesn't have the chutzpah. He's going to convince other religious people to do it. The grunts, he has them do it. They blow up, and I think within
Provides the money, they go
provides the
blow
money.
themselves
They
up.
go, blows themselves up, and I think within the confusion of it all, I think they were able to go for Saddam, who they thought was an evil bad guy anyway. But
Right.
um,
Yeah, while we were militarily mobilized, hey, we've got this guy over here. He's got these. We might as well just take him off too. I think that they grossly underestimated like the difficulty of it. I think that they really did think we just topple Saddam, we'll install a Western style government, everything will be happy. We'll be in and out in a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and it'll become a burgeoning democracy, for the region. Was that obviously a very grossly overly optimistic idea? Probably.
So I'm going to vote most likely for, I assume, Biden against Trump, even if it was DeSantis, or I would still choose Biden if it was DeSantis. Yeah, there's a few candidates I will vote for, but I had a but Biden removing himself from Afghanistan, I believe, and from
the pullout.
Yes, removing themselves from the Taliban pushing territory was a mistake. That should not have happened, in my opinion. Now, you say, how long should it have gone? I don't know. It takes a while to build a culture that is going to value and want to defend the land and and so I still think it would have been a good investment.
What's the minimum number of people that we could have kept there just to keep the government functioning, just to keep the Taliban held at bay? I don't know what the answer to that is. Why that?
But I feel like you would have got a great money back on having a Western country. Western. I hate saying it. Not a Western. I hate you because I'm learning these. I'm getting this like pride in a lot of things that a lot of these different countries are starting to achieve, but I'm also starting to, I want to keep it open and inviting, because a country like Turkey, who could go either way, it has a lot of religious people, but it's a secular country. It could
lean secular.
Yes, I want other countries that will eventually throw off their shackles to not think that they're going to be part of this secular society, because it's not it's clean. It's very clean. Just like I was telling you how the religious people, they're always looking for you could say Muslim science, Christian science, but no, James, there is only science. What's up, Peebo? So we're going to do a few more shout outs. Americans are always cheap. They like get a guest in a brothel, quick in, a few humps, then pull out. Woo! That's right, baby.
Amy can tell you all about that.
It's the Late Late Show. What's up, Doorknob Head? What's up, everybody out there? Raina and Michael Smith still hanging with us. Danny DeSol. We're going to do a few more shout outs, a few more subjects, and then we're probably going to head out ourselves. It's been fun. We have been asking us anything or saying something funny on June makes the Fundies swoon, which it does. Gonna vote Kanye again. Yo, let me tell you, I would vote if there was a thing that said Kanye take his lithium. But I think he is taking his lithium now, because he said the 21 Jump Street made him like the Jews.
So
thank you, Jonah Hill.
Hitler is not the good guy anymore.
Exactly, James.
He doesn't have to have Alex Jones give him a history lesson.
What if we actually just dropped, if we just went over Normandy and we just dropped a bunch of Jonah Hills? Could you imagine? We could have saved a whole bunch of lives back then. Oh, everyone loved it.
Yeah, they would have all said, "Oh, well, hey, what are we fighting for? This is bullshit." And they all would have just put their guns down, and the war would have been over.
Hand in hand.
Yeah.
That Jufro.
With Amy Newman, hand on stick.
That's right. But this is our love letter to our supporters, our Patreons. You can become a channel member right down below.
Right, sir.
Hit that join button, and it doesn't matter what level you are, because you will get our evolving badge system that the longer you are a member, that the longer it will evolve.
Excuse me, sir. The Bible's God's love letter to man. It tells you how much he loves you, sir.
Can I also say, and I know it sounds terrible, but he doesn't just have a southern accent. You hear it, right? You hear that he has a little bit of A twang.
That's right. That's
right. Would you like a cup of lemonade? Sure, Granny. Granny, I'm your uncle. Oh,
how many
okay.
lumps of sugar would you like in your tea?
Exactly. It's just his Bible quotes are extra, are extravagant, are fabulous.
I'm 110% straight, sir. Sir, do not slander
What I
me,
love
sir.
about the anti-gays like him is that it's well known, and he pushes forward that he is a former gay. Like, once again, they just say the quiet things out loud. He stopped liking the D. He found Jesus.
God gave me the power to stop getting fucked in the ass. Jesus did that for me.
Also, how gay is it to say that, like, I'm going to stop doing butt sex because my boyfriend doesn't want me to? I feel like that's just getting a dominant, right? Like, that's not being gay. That's just being abstinent because your master told you to, right? I'm not crazy.
Slaves for Christ. I'm Christ's slave.
They didn't say that. They say that
They
stuff
say,
non-ironically.
They say a slave to Christ.
Oh my god, it kills
me. No.
All right. James, I'm getting the vapors. But thank you, Emily. Thank you, Davegar, who's reminding us that the
get the
world
poppers, Amy. Open up the poppers. Fill the whole room with them.
Woo.
Woo.
Time to get that butt sex.
That's right, sir.
What are we talking about? TOS. We're talking about sugar. I think sugar. I'm not the first comedian who says that sugar should be treated like a fucking drug.
It says furniture polish.
I love my sugar.
It says furniture polish.
That's right.
You don't inhale it to have butt sex. It's a room deodorizer, room fragrance enhancer.
Just watching the Eric Andre show, a very crazy show, and they're just all of them are just sniffing WD-40, just sitting there, just sniffing W. Just like, come on, would you like a hat? Would you offering some to the guest?
It's like the people who what do they carry gasoline around with them to smell. They're like addicted to the smell of gasoline.
James, that's the good stuff. But yes, there's also our prop tier. In fact, there is what we call the leaders of the girl deck. The commanders.
Quarter deck, yeah.
The quarter deck. We have Regos reminding us that we are... Oh, I have to go out here.
What are you getting, sir? Are you getting dildo, sir?
Let me tell you what's coming out of my skirt.
The snake slithered out the hall, sir.
We have Regos reminding us that we have a skeptical Bible study.
Sir.
James, you know how you're able to respect his glory? You have to find that hole. It's the only way, actually, to give glory to God, I think. Someone told me. Sniffing WD-40 help up loosen brain cells, yes. I'm fairly sure it does.
I'm not sniffing it, sir. I'm just lubricating my door here. It's just so squeaky, sir. It keeps squeaking. It keeps squeaking, sir.
James, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's just me and my roommate. The squeak goes in and out, in and out, in and out. It's because we're having a baking competition. And the baking competition just gets hot up there.
It does. It does.
Anyway, sending love to Regis, sending love to Matt Deig, reminding us that we actually know how to explain phenomena. We're the only people. Science is the only people who know how to explain phenomena.
We do,
when
sir.
You talk to a creationist, they can't even come up with their own theories. They oftentimes can't even come up with their own hypotheses. Not like any of the flat earthers agree.
That's not true, sir. We have the Bible to explain it. The Bible explains it all, sir.
Oh my God. Morena, if that's so Morena, I'm not saying that, but that's such a funny, because that is a line from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Danny DeVito kept on saying that, and they're like, no, it's not. It is pay to get the toll. They just kept on. And you actually, I think you said it right. You said it right, actually, now that I'm reading it, the troll toll if you want to get the boy's soul. And he kept on mispronouncing the word soul. Ooh, I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It is a great show.
You're in my heart. You're in my soul, sir.
Pay the troll toll to get that boy's soul. Which you learn a lot in creationist circles, a lot in apparently the Catholic Church, though, you know, who knows what Pat Robertson, all these other people, who knows what Joel Osteen and all these other people are doing who scam people out of money.
Creflo Dollar.
Probably throwing money at hookers. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, Jimmy Swaggart from the late 80s and 90s. Got caught twice with hookers.
James, now we are an extreme, you know, we're a sex-friendly, sex worker-friendly
Are we now?
podcast.
We are.
It's just, you know, just be open about it. Don't lie. Don't push that you're going to be for...
Don't castigate and look down on sex workers if you're going to be paid.
Exactly. And sending love to last but not least to Ian Davenport.
Ooh, you're a harlot.
Thank you so much, Ian Davenport.
You're my harlot.
Reminding us. That's right. You're in our heart. You're my harlot. You're James' harlot. Because creationist arguments suck. Watchmaker arguments, Kalam, contingency.
They suck a fat.
The what is the my Pascal's
ontological,
wager,
teleological.
Feel my balls illogical. Oh my.
Biblically forward / logically.
Nightman. I'm just reading quotes at this point from them. Sending love to that, which is just another quote from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. A femboy adult sex worker might be a bulk purchase. I agree. Feel like that has to be something you buy in a dozen. Woo! Sending so much love, Ian Davenport. We are sending pride and hearts and rainbows. And also Philly. That's a Pride Philly. That's fantastic. Boom, boom, boom. Sending love. Boom, boom, boom. I've been to Pride Philly a few times.
I bet you have.
Woo!
Fun party.
It's a good day. Yeah. I mean, it's not untrue that a lot of, LGBTQ gatherings and get-together can get raunchy, but I will say it corresponds mostly with the light of day. So, generally at, noon, we may all have cute outfits on, but no one's having butt sex. We're probably not even having mimosas. I mean, that has to be till, late at night, 3 p.m. You know what I mean?
3 p.m. Then you start sucking dick.
Exactly. But no, it's generally I've never had orgy in the middle of the day now that I think about it. No, even the one good couple of them that I went to, they started out I don't know how to say this. I don't think unironically is the right word, but they started out with bowling. And a lot of the people at these bowling events took the bowling very seriously. Yes. And so all of the fun stuff, all of that stuff doesn't start until, 11. You're getting ready at 10. Everyone's gathering keys. It's maybe at midnight. Everyone's finally over there, and now things are getting which is how humans generally operate. Just because we're a little bit sexier time doesn't mean like we built this playbook. Like, just humans doing human things. Oh, exactly. They see those what's up, Norfolk? They see those half-naked bodies. Because everyone wants to dress cute when you're in like 80 or 90 degree weather. But if we were to go to like the beach, if you were to isolate that and be like, no one's wearing clothing, it's like, yeah, that's it's okay.
There's kids here. There's kids on the beach.
Here. Ah, exactly.
Yeah, there's kids.
Yeah. The sexy times.
Exposing kids to half-naked men and women.
The sexy time is what makes the kids oftentimes. That is how it happens. I mean,
well, according to KJV, Amy, you'll never know what it's like to get pregnant.
She's been getting slightly less calmer in her thing. I don't know if that even means she's just a little bit self-defeated. She's taking lithium, or she is actually absorbing some of what I say. You know, you never know. Or maybe she's just fight. It also might be. I have learned also, a lot of the theists. It's the same thing we've been talking about all night. They get tired of just so much opposition from other theists that eventually they come back to us and you're like, oh, well, you're the same old atheist. You don't change. You don't have to have the same. It's like, yeah. It's nice to have this great purity that you guys are looking for. And once again, I know that most atheists, non-believers, skeptics, we're like cats. We're not trying to be pure. Like we're running in the intellectual dirt, trying to figure things out. Trying to challenge and be exactly.
We have a fucking book that we all have to read that tells us how to think, act, live, what to eat, what not to eat, which hand to wipe your ass with, whether or not you can jerk off or not. I mean, we don't have that.
And yet, we have this weird little like.
Who you can fuck, how you can fuck them, when you can fuck them.
But we have this weird little, if you ask about a lot of our beliefs, like especially on the bigger questions, I don't know. You just go down the list asking people. You're like, holy shit, why do you all sound the same? Did you rehearse this? Why do you all? No, it's because we don't know. And so
what happened before the Big Bang?
Don't know something.
Where did you come from?
That. Yeah.
How did life start? But if you ask us,
and I'll give them my favorite. How does consciousness work, James? They love that C word. You know why they love that C word? Because they assume no one's going to challenge them on it. They assume nothing. They assume.
I thought you were going to say because cum starts with a C, and so does consciousness. So
James,
therefore they just associate the two.
C. This is an Australian. / New Zealand word. There you go. Boy, you gotta go cunt that. I've been watching too much of The Boys. I'm gonna keep on shouting it out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm like late to the party, but I love my superheroes, and now this is a satirical superhero. James, you would actually like it. I think you would love it.
Buttercup is awake.
Yeah, she is. Where's my girl? She's about to escape because she probably just had food. I'm gonna take a drink.
Allergic to cats, Amy?
That might be. My mom is actually allergic to cats. She gets a shot. That's how much she loves my dad. She is my, she's making MERS. I don't know if you heard it. She went, no. It was muted.
No. I do that, then Gizmo's looking at me like, what are you meowing at me for?
I'll let you go.
I'm not meowing at you, Gizmo. Oh my gosh, Gizmo. Okay, yes, everyone wants to see Buttercup. Hi, Buttercup.
Okay, now I can let you go. She is so fucking cute. Oh my god. I know, baby girl. Okay, she's becoming jello in a second. She actually will let me hold her for a good amount of time, but she wanted to go out.
Gizmo gets squirmy like that too.
Yeah, they sometimes
when he's being held up.
Jello. Yeah. Penelope will last the longest. She is a love sponge. Buttercup is learning to be like that, and then Moonlight is a guy, so his feelings are like, oh my god. Though he loves love, he gets in moods when he needs pets. And my dad is a cat. Yes, very. Oh my goodness. They have a dog. I was raised with cats and dogs. I was raised with both, so I like
I was raised
both.
with just dogs.
Really? But now you're a both
My
person.
parents, they just have dogs. They just have.
Really?
They,
I love
they
dogs.
actually just got another dog, like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks ago.
Aww.
A second toy poodle.
Okay. See, my parents have a Labrapoodle.
Because my sister, she's younger than me, but so she got everything because I was older, and yeah, she got everything. She wants to learn how to play the guitar. They ran out, got her a guitar. She played it for like 2 days. Just sat there. She wanted.
I would not know what that's like, James.
She wanted a poodle, so mom ran down to Miami to a breeder, got her a poodle. After about a week, it became theirs because she was always out with her friends and going out. Yeah, it became their poodle, and then they.
So that is, I will say, my parents got me a dog, and I was like, I will walk him every day. And they're like, okay, good. My dad walked that dog. But listen, I'm getting better. I've gotten better because now the Cooper is my baby. I take care of Cooper and I walk him. And just sending love out to some randomly to just the void. And we're almost wrapping up. We'll go on for a little bit longer. If there is any last minute questions or one-liners, feel free to send in a super chat, or if you are a Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman, or if you're a channel member at the join button right down there and get our evolving badge system, then you too can send in comments, questions, one-liners. But if you're just a subscriber and a viewer, a creationist, we'll keep on talking with you for about 5 more minutes. But this has been fun, James.
It has been fun. It's good to be back. I think we'll probably be back the weekend, Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, yes, one of those days, either late night Friday or sometime in Saturday. And yeah, the Labrapoodle is funny. The story I always tell is because it's a transgender dog. The Labrapoodle that my parents have will hump everyone's leg. That's right. She will hump everyone's leg.
She will.
Which I guess, you could say, is it a transgender dog wants to be a he? Who knows? Then they always get, she's just asserting dominance.
Oh, my sister has a dog that it's like I don't know, it's like a Chihuahua Maltese mix, but he is like bipolar. Or so is she, so they're perfect for each other.
Well, can I tell you something? And I'm not going to tell you who or which job, but I was covering for someone once, and they're like, and I love this person. They're actually a beautiful person. That's why I don't want to out them. But they're like, could you like watch me for 1 second? I got to go get my dog. I have the dealer for my dog's Prozac coming. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes got to get in there. I just want to know what the life is for a dealer that sells
dog Prozac.
dog drug dealer. That is kind of amazing that even exists.
Well, I mean, I'd imagine it's very similar to the human drugs. I used to work. I used to manage a pet shop a few years ago, and there was this couple that used to come in, and they worked at a vet, the girl, and they were always like high as a fucking kite. Like when they came in there, like Like they had taken like 20 Xan. They were all like loopy.
Whew.
Then turns out they were under investigation for
Oh,
drugs
there you go.
going missing from the clinic there.
Ladies
the
and
vet's
gentlemen,
office.
this is why you should only either be a social drinker or smoke pot. It's those two things. Everything else, it's got those detrimental. Though I always recommend this is
Legalize it
the
all.
armchair. Well, I think you should. Oh, I think it should be all legalized. But I'm saying what you should take, and then I recommend a psychedelic once a year.
Well,
Once a year.
if we could find a way to get bleach into the, because bleach kills it like instantly. Is there a way we could get that into
anime?
people's lungs, Amy? No, it's a Donald Trump COVID reference.
Gotcha. Oh,
You're-
Jesus. Right when he said
Bleach.
to inject bleach.
He's like,
oh, my God.
then he said he was just trolling people.
James,
like,
I really don't
he-
want him to be president. Not
he was really talking. He was really asking if there was a way
ridiculous.
if we could get bleach into people's lungs. Like,
Can I tell you, I get shit for this because I'll tell them why I dislike Trump. And they're like, wow, you're not going to vote for him just because you don't like him? And I'm like, yes, exactly. Because I don't think he has views. And so if he doesn't have views, and I'm only voting on character, and I don't like his character.
but actually,
Oh, my
remember when COVID first came out, there were people dying because they were taking like fish medication that you would put in a fish tank, and they were trying to take that for the
Oh
COVID.
my God. Yes. That is the danger of actual misinformation when you're telling people to do and say or don't do things.
Because
that
they
go
sell
contrary
fish
to science.
antibiotics that you put in the water.
James,
It's
the
just,
amount of like
the way you dose that
woo-woo.
out for a human is just not good. Don't do it. Not worth it.
What James said. The amount of
Yeah.
woo-woo stuff during, like I just heard, like you could take this and it like this is like bull tranquilizer and it'll allow you to not get infected from COVID. I'm like, sure.
So it's basically one step away from fucking Ken Hovind's apricot seeds that cure cancer.
Yes, it's all. It is literally the evolved form of snake oil. All these products. There's no product that's going to make you immune from anything because what the actual vaccine is the virus. That's the only way that we know so far, unless you're coming up with a new method, is to kill the virus and make your own antibodies from the dead version. And so it is what it is. Also, just sending love out to James Wolfe, who says, "What's a dog's favorite artist?" Andy Warhol.
That's a good one.
That is actually a good one.
Disciple Day just posted another joke down there.
Thank you so much, James Wolfe. And Disciple Day. We had a Jack Russell Terrier and an Australian Shepherd mix. A Jagos.
Well, there you go, Ember. It
See,
certainly
now we're
will.
getting good.
It will kill all those viruses. Unfortunately, it also killed the host.
That's true. Injecting bleach will kill the virus. And like James says, the host. Like, oh my goodness. Humans
like,
are so amusing.
blowing up your house to get rid of the ant problem that you have. Right? Amy would know about
Exactly.
that. Yeah. I got rid of those fucking ants. I did. They are fucking blown to. Yeah.
No longer have a house, but neither do they.
No fucking
so.
ants.
Yes. So I think we'll have like one more second or
Oh,
so.
Danny,
James,
that'd be
any
cool.
shout outs? We'll start doing, I think,
Cross a
the
dipshit with an idiot,
closeouts.
you get an Alex Stein.
What's
That's
that?
true. Danny Diesel, cross a dipshit with an idiot, you'll get an Alex Stein.
I think some of the stuff he has to be just doing because he knows it's silly. I was about to say he's doing it for attention, but we all know that's what he's doing it for. But like,
Yeah.
you know, some of it he may believe, But
do you think he believes Brittany Griner had sex with Vladimir Putin?
see,
Yes,
here's
no.
the thing. I think that he thinks that she hates America, but I don't think that he thinks that she slept with Putin. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he doesn't think either of those. He's just trolling.
Probably.
But sending love out there as we come to the end. Sending love to our Fiver. If you would like to, exactly, one of those. If you'd like to be produced,
He's got 5 on it.
head out on there, and for a little bit, you can have this Gizmo trained producer try to use her abilities to help your launch work towards monetization or build your brand. And so go check that out if you're looking to run a podcast. That's right, baby. The best way to support us, and I'll give another shout at the end, is Patreon. The Patreon is there. We have been trying to get to 200. We are slowly building up there and trying to hit the 200 mark.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
I know. He keeps on saying it, but we can't help. We're so compelled. So non-shout out to thank you for Chris. And also sending so much love to our members. You can get our membership right down below. I'll talk about it one last time. But yes, I want to thank you all.
Yes, he does.
For joining us on this Ask Us Anything or Say Something Funny. Gizmo says hi. Well, no, that's every episode. On this episode of June Makes Fundies Swoon, where we had our supporters ask us anything or give us our best one-liner. That's right, where our supporters were able to send in questions or jokes via super chats, or if they have channel memberships, or if they have Patreon support. All those lovely questions or zingers that came to us in chat. I hope every subscriber and viewer had fun as we celebrated Triggering Fundies Month. Oy vey. And like I said, it's not only Gay Pride, but Juneth. And so, now it really triggers them. And we'll be coming back on just a few days, as well as hopefully more content. I've been trying to think about how to run the Minecraft. I don't know if I should just have it myself and Rachel, or if I just should have the server everyone and have it myself, Rachel, and then other people can join the server.
I'll do it on like a Discord server.
Yeah. Well, I know I want to record from Rachel and I being in like the woods to finding a village to taking that village from a simple village all the way up to the Industrial Revolution, where we really do. There's technology at a certain point that you can build. And so, I want to go that far.
Building just a bunch of gay bars, one after the other, all the way up and down the street, like everywhere you turn.
Everywhere. And I do, however, want to thank my co-host James W., along with all the people who sent in comments, questions, or one-liners, as well as all the people in chat, our awesome mods who make this stream so great, and lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, it really does help. If you like,
thanks, guys.
Follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/Amy Newman Skeptic, or subscribe. That subscribe button right down there allows us to grow our community, and then set that bell icon to all so that you can join our live streams. Or hey, I saw this person on
Mark Reid
giving an interview of Mark Reid's.
I'm a chemist, professionally trained.
You said also setting love out to you.
Chemistry, Amy. I feel the chemistry between
it's
them.
getting a little hot here.
Thanks.
Oh my
Thanks, Ian.
God. But sending love, youtube.com/MarkReedAtheism. You should check that out, or you could leave a comment as well during the video's end. After the show, we'll be heading over to the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server, the link of which is in the description, but I'll also be sending it right out.
Oh no, don't send it out.
No. That's right. Join the Skeptic and Ranting Discord community. Woo! Where you can debate with others, become a master debater even. And the link of which is in the description, along with our fantastic channel members who have our evolving badge system. By just hitting join, it helps support the show, but then you actually get an evolving badge that sticks with you and evolves the longer you've been a member. But lastly, the best way to help us make even more content, I know I've said it a bunch of times, it's been a shilly McShill shill, is going to our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman and unlocking some unique perks, including our upcoming show, Patreon-a-thon, which is, so we're going to have our supporter show, and then we're going to have our Patreon show. We're going to be doing 2 shows a month, 2 scoops of fun. Coming soon. What's up, Sinister Porpoise? Sending love, Ian Davenport. Sending love, Chris. In fact, everyone who has sent love to us. Boo boo boo. Hold on, you can feel the gears in my head. Ian Davenport, Off the Chain Atheist, and Disciple Day. But of course, everyone who has sent love to us throughout the entire night. Oh yeah, I already said it. I'm Amy Newman. Like, this is James W. We'll see you both on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Mwah!